I want to welcome each of you this afternoon as we do a virtual town hall meeting for all of our parents for Cityscape Schools.
Queremos agradecerles por estar con nosotros en esta reunión virtual para todos los padres de Cityscape Schools.
We want you to know that we remain committed, and also we believe that each of your children and their futures are very important to you and also to us.
Queremos enfatizar que seguimos comprometidos con el futuro y la educación de sus hijos, que es muy importante para nosotros.
We're always looking at ways to strengthen our current programs and our staff and our campuses, our schools, and we want to come talk to you about something this afternoon that we think might be a good benefit for us, for our students, for our families, and also for our employees.
Siempre estamos buscando maneras de mejorar nuestros programas académicos y también proveer mejores beneficios para nuestros estudiantes y empleados, y queremos compartirles algunas de las ideas que tenemos de una posibilidad de que esto pueda pasar.
But I want to emphasize all we're doing right now is we're in exploratory stage.
Pero queremos enfatizar que en este momento estamos explorando esa posibilidad. No hay una decisión.
We're looking at the possibilities of what it would take to go to a 4-day school week.
Estamos viendo las posibilidades de lo que necesitamos para modificar nuestra semana a 4 días de instrucción.
Right now, we're just looking at possibilities, and we really don't know what direction we'll be going.
En este momento solo estamos viendo las posibilidades, pero no tenemos todavía una confirmación.
If we were to go to a 4-day school week, it would be either this August coming up, or it could be postponed for another year as we look at options and work through the challenges.
Mientras estamos analizando toda la información, podríamos hacer este cambio a cuatro días a la semana de escuela para el próximo año escolar o incluso para el siguiente.
But we want to say thank you for joining us this afternoon. And at the end of our meeting today, we're going to open up the opportunity for you to ask questions that you will be able to type into the chat line.
Queremos agradecerles por estar con nosotros y queremos abrir la puerta que al final de nuestra presentación hoy, si quieren poner preguntas en los chats, vamos a estar respondiéndolas.
So if you have any questions or have any comments, we'll be glad to hear from you in just a bit.
Así que si tiene preguntas o comentarios, nos gustaría escuchar su opinión.
So the first thing I want to do is we want to talk to you about some of the considerations of why we believe that a 4-day school week may be a great ideal for Cityscape Schools. First is this. We're in a real crunch right now with trying to find qualified teachers.
Queremos compartirles algunas de las razones por las que creemos que este modelo de 4 días sería beneficioso para nuestra escuela. En este momento es muy difícil, es complicado encontrar maestros de calidad para nuestras escuelas.
Thousands of teachers in Texas and across our nation over the last couple of years has left this field and are no longer teaching.
Ha habido miles de maestros en el estado y a nivel nacional que han dejado la carrera y no están enseñando más.
So in the state of Texas and across our nation, we're in a critical shortage right now of teachers.
Así que a nivel nacional y a nivel estatal tenemos carencia de maestros.
And we believe that if we were to offer a 4-day school week, that would help us to attract and to retain quality teachers.
Y creemos que si movemos nuestro modelo a 4 días a la semana, podríamos atraer y retener a maestros de calidad.
We've been discussing this with our teachers at our campuses.
Hemos estado compartiendo esto y discutiendo esto con nuestros maestros en los campus.
And also our employees across all of our campuses and our district offices.
Y también con nuestros empleados en nuestros edificios escolares y en las oficinas.
And right now it seems that many of us are favoring at least the potential of what it would look like and the fact that it might be able to give our employees extra time to do the things that they want to do during the week when they could not do that if they're working 5 days.
En este momento la respuesta de los empleados ha sido favorable a la posibilidad de hacer este modelo de 4 días.
Another reason that we are considering a 4-day school week is well-being, when we think of our students, when we think of families, how are we all doing? And for us, the most important thing at Cityscape is for our students to be doing well and families. We know that families are the bedrock of society. And so as we think of a balance, of a time to spend together, for students to spend time with their families, to have that extra time, and many of you have medical appointments. Sometimes you have to take your kids out of school. This would give an opportunity for you to have a day during the work week where you could be with your children as a family, or also to take them to appointments. Para nosotros, sabemos que es importante el bienestar de los alumnos de Cityscape, y eso incluye tiempo con sus familiares. Y sabemos que muchas veces tienen citas médicas donde tienen que asistir, y esto les daría otra opción durante la semana de trabajo, teniendo el viernes libre para que puedan ir a hacer esas diligencias o pasar más tiempo en familia.
The next reason that we really are considering going to a 4-day school week is to be able to give back family time.
Otra razón por la que estamos viendo la posibilidad de la semana de 4 días es para poder expandir el tiempo de familia.
We want to give our employees family time back, and we also want to give you family time back.
Queremos darles tiempo extra familiar tanto a nuestros empleados como a nuestras familias y estudiantes.
And because of this, we believe that this would also allow not only you as a parent or a mom or a dad, but also our own employees that have children, for them to be able to possibly spend more time at home with them also.
Creemos que esto podría no solo a ustedes como papás y mamás de nuestros estudiantes incrementar su tiempo en familia, sino también para aquellos nuestros empleados que tienen hijos, que puedan ellos también pasar ese tiempo con sus familias.
This is another reason why we believe that this would help us retain and recruit employees, because they would understand and know that they would have more personal time back that they can give to their families.
Por eso creemos que es una manera de retener y atraer a nuestros empleados, porque sería un beneficio el tener ese tiempo extra con sus familias.
And so we know that importance of improving the school life balance. And so for our teachers who also are parents, that would give them that opportunity to spend more time with their children, and also to be able to come and work and spend time here in their jobs. And sabemos, padres, que es importante un balance familiar. Entonces, no solamente para los estudiantes y sus familias, pero también para los empleados nuestros, que puedan tener un balance, que tengan parte de la semana en trabajo y parte de la semana que tengan un tiempo de vida con balance. And in addition to that, we think of the outcomes. We want to improve overall. Above all things, when we think of the number one thing at Cityscape, we're here for students, so we want to improve student outcomes. How can we help our students achieve their greatest potential? And so for us, as we consider the scheduling, we will focus on those 4 days that we have personalized instruction, that we have the support, whether they're interventions, whatever the student will need to continue in their growth, both academically and on the social aspect. Para nosotros entendemos la importancia aquí en Cityscape, y es los estudiantes. El éxito académico es muy importante, y en esas semanas que estamos planeando, ¿verdad?, que cambiarían de 5 días a 4, vamos a tener en cuenta de que en esos 4 días sus estudiantes puedan seguir desempeñándose académicamente e igualmente en lo social.
Our mission and also our purpose both state that we want to be partners with our parents and with our families.
Nuestra misión y nuestra visión dice que queremos trabajar juntos con ustedes como socios.
So a partnership is two-way, and that's why we're coming to you this afternoon.
Pero en una sociedad tiene dos lados, por eso venimos a platicar esto con ustedes.
I've always believed that a mom and a dad or parents, they really know what's best for their children.
Siempre he creído que los papás, las mamás son los que mejor saben qué es lo que les conviene a sus hijos
And what is best for their families.
y lo que es mejor para sus familias.
And so we really want to hear from you.
Así que queremos escuchar de ustedes.
And as we move forward with this, that we're doing it in lockstep or together with you as partners.
Y mientras seguimos en este proceso, queremos hacerlo paso a paso con ustedes.
Now, one of the challenges that we've been hearing back from our parents is already
Algunos de los retos que hemos escuchado ya de los padres
is what would happen on Friday. If we have school Monday through Thursday, what's going to happen on Friday when we're not having school?
es ¿qué pasará los viernes? Si tenemos escuela de lunes a jueves, ¿qué va a pasar los viernes que no hay escuela?
We know that many of you work, and it would really put a hardship on you, not only financially, but also trying to get your child to a daycare or paying for daycare.
Sabemos que muchos de ustedes trabajan y sabemos que un día extra que tengan que pagar por daycare o por el cuidado de sus hijos puede ser un problema financiero.
We do not want to put a burden on our families financially.
No queremos poner esa carga financiera en nuestras familias.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to have an all-day Foresight Friday camp, which will take place all day on every Friday that the school is open.
Lo que queremos hacer es tener un campamento de todo el día, los viernes, que va a mantener la escuela abierta.
Which means you can bring your child in for our Friday camp, our Foresight camp.
Lo que significa que podrían traer a su niño a la escuela para el campamento de viernes
And this will be all day.
y sería todo el día.
And I'd like for Ms. Rojas to kind of give you some of the background about some of the things that we'll be offering on this Friday.
Thank you, Mr. Brannon. And so parents, those of you who participated, who had your children participate in the Foresight Camp last summer, may recall that we included both the academics aspect and then all the enrichment. And so we offered accelerated learning pathways in reading and in math, and then we also embedded enrichment activities such as theater, STEM through a partnership with Perot Museum. We brought in the Ballet Folclórico, Anita Martinez, and also for the middle school students, the youth leadership program through the Compelling Why. And we will continue to focus on embedding enriching activities for your student on the Fridays that are determined as Foresight Fridays. And so the camp that we offer in the summer, we would offer throughout the year. So that's a huge bonus for our kids because we know the importance of a continued learning process. And we don't believe that any instruction should be lost for any student. We want all of our students to progress and to have opportunities for other classes. We have been hearing from you parents, and it's very important that we continue to hear from you on your ideas as to how that would look like. And the feedback is crucial for us. And so know that helps us determine as we plan for these Foresight Fridays and also for the summer programs.
And your feedback, as Ms. Rojas said, is very critical to us.
Su participación es muy importante para nosotros.
So we want to give you an opportunity when we're finished today
Queremos darles una oportunidad antes de terminar el día de hoy
to fill out a survey.
de llenar una encuesta.
We have the survey in English and Spanish.
Tenemos la encuesta en inglés y en español.
And right now you'll see on your screen
En este momento lo verán en su pantalla,
a QR code
un código QR
and also a link
y también un enlace
that'll allow you to go to the survey and to take it and answer those questions.
que le permitirá ir al enlace y contestar la encuesta.
And also to please send us any questions or comments or thoughts that you would like to leave with us.
Y por favor, contesten las preguntas y también dejen comentarios o preguntas que quieran compartir con nosotros.
Immediately following our time this afternoon,
En cuanto termine esta junta virtual,
there will be an email and also a text that's sent out to every family that has this link to the survey so that you can go there, take the survey. It'll just take you a few minutes, but your thoughts and your answers to those questions are very critical to us right now.
en cuanto termine esta reunión, vamos a enviar un texto o un correo con la información, el enlace para esa encuesta, y es muy importante para nosotros tener la mayor participación de ustedes para saber qué es lo que les preocupa.
We will also continue to host meetings throughout the remainder of this month, February, and also into March. And some of them are already being held at campuses. And so you can see the dates and times and locations on the slide. And we hope that you join us and bring other parents along with you. Spread the word to them. Our virtual town hall meetings, such as this one, will be recorded and available on the webpage. And be sure to follow the listing that you see on your screen, because we would love for you to join us, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, this week we were at East Grand campus, preparatory campus, and also our Early Childhood Center campus, and we were able to sit down with many of you, many of the parents, answer questions and talk to them about their concerns. And so next week we're going to be at Buckner Preparatory over in the Pleasant Grove area on 2 different days. And so we really invite you, regardless of what campus your child attends, to come to those meetings.
Esta semana ya tuvimos algunas reuniones con los padres de East Grand Preparatory. También vinieron los padres de nuestro centro infantil y nos reunimos con ellos y contestamos algunas preguntas. La semana que viene hay una reunión similar en el campus de Buckner Preparatory. Pero si usted, no importa si es su campus o no, si quiere venir y participar en esas juntas, es bienvenido.
So if you have a question or would like to make a comment now, you can do that in the chat box.
Así que si tienen una pregunta o comentario, pueden hacerla ahora en la caja del chat.
It looks like we have a couple of questions right now, but if you want to send that to us right now, we will answer those as soon as you send them to us.
Tenemos un par de preguntas ahora y las vamos a leer y seguimos esperando más de ustedes. Instead of a 4-day school week, could there be a consideration to make the school days shorter from Monday to Friday and still give students and staff more time with their families? En lugar de una semana de 4 días, ¿podríamos considerar hacer los días escolares más cortos del lunes a viernes y así darle más tiempo a nuestro staff y nuestros estudiantes?
Well, let me say that's a great question for consideration.
De entrada es una muy buena pregunta para considerarla.
That could be a possibility, but we really need to weigh all of our options, which we're doing right now. And so this will be something that we will take under consideration also.
Es una buena opción, pero estamos viendo todas las posibilidades y tenemos que balancear todas las necesidades, pero lo tomaremos muy en cuenta en nuestras
And something to keep in mind, families, is that the state requires that school districts and open enrollment charter schools, for us to provide 75,600 minutes of instruction per year. And so as we take those minutes into consideration, how that looks like during a school week, we need to make sure that we fulfill the requirement. El estado de Texas requiere que los distritos escolares y también las escuelas charter ofrezcan 75,600 minutos de instrucción a través de un año escolar, y al considerar los horarios tenemos que asegurar de que podamos completar esos minutos requeridos por el Estado.
Second question is, will the school day be the same length for students?
Very good question. Actually, we meant to give you that answer actually earlier. But yes, we would, if we were to go to a 4-day school week, we would be probably having to add at least an hour of instruction Monday through Thursday. It'll either be 10 minutes earlier than we are now, or 20, 30 minutes later than we are. We'll have to weigh that and look at y'all's suggestions and things that you think might be best.
La pregunta fue si el día escolar iba a ser de la misma longitud a los estudiantes. La respuesta es no. Estamos viendo la posibilidad de agregar casi 1 hora por día. Puede ser al final del día, podría ser al principio del día. Estamos viendo todas las posibilidades, que es lo mejor para acomodarlo con todos.
I think we've got another question coming in right now.
Is it being considered that this plan might not be feasible for our jobs as parents? Está considerándose que este plan podría no ser compatible con nuestros trabajos como papás.
Will you ask that again, please?
Is it being considered that this plan might not be feasible for our jobs as parents?
Yeah, that's something that's the reason we're coming to you right now. We're really trying to determine what you believe is best.
Sí, esa es una muy buena pregunta, pero es por eso que estamos viniendo con ustedes. Queremos saber si eso es algo que es compatible para ustedes como papás.
But what this is going to allow us to do is not only would you have school Monday through Thursday, but you would have the option to bring your child on Friday. If you have to work, if you have no place for your children to go, then you could let them come to our camp on Friday, which will be all day. And so it really wouldn't affect you as much as if we just said, hey, on Friday we're closing the school and you have to find some place for your children.
Recuerden que una de las razones por la que estamos considerando hacer el campamento de los viernes es para asegurarnos que aquellos que trabajan, no les estamos diciendo vamos a cerrar la escuela los viernes y tienen que encontrar algún lugar, sino queremos asegurarnos que eso no sea un impedimento en su trabajo.
But it is important to hear from all of our parents, whether they're working, whether they're not working, or what their situation is at home.
Pero es importante saber y hoy escuchar sus comentarios, ya sea que trabajan o que no trabajan, que se queden en casa.
For those of you that do work and need some place for your child to go on Friday, we really believe this Friday all-day camp is actually going to be an added benefit to your children.
Para aquellos de ustedes que trabajan y que necesitan un lugar para sus hijos en los viernes, creemos realmente que este campamento extra de los viernes podría traer beneficios, no solo ayudarles con lo que tienen que cuidando a sus hijos, sino traer beneficios escolares.
Another note is that some students have been invited to attend tutoring after school or Saturday school for tutoring. Well, that would take place on Friday instead. So in addition to the Foresight Camp activities, students who are needing additional academic support would be able to attend on Fridays to accelerate their learning.
I have another question is, who would monitor the students that go to camp on Friday? ¿Quién cuidaría a los estudiantes que van al campamento de los viernes?
That's another great question. We would be hiring new employees that would actually be supervising and helping run the all-day Friday camp, and also our after-school program.
Es una muy buena pregunta. Vamos a contratar nuevos empleados que se encargarían de administrar y manejar ese campamento los viernes.
And for our employees that want to make the extra money and do want to work on Friday, the teachers or the instructional team or the office staff, they can come in on Friday and work and make extra income.
Y si nuestros maestros o nuestro personal actual quiere ganar dinero extra y venir un día extra a trabajar, eso va a ser una opción para ellos también.
The Friday program will be supervised by our instructional team, Ms. Rojas and her team.
El campamento de los viernes sería supervisado por nuestro equipo educacional, liderado por Ms. Rojas.
And that will be at the same high level that it is as it is now, Monday through Friday.
Y esperamos que tenga el mismo nivel que tiene de lunes a viernes. We have another question is, what would be the location for the Friday camp, or would it be offered at various locations?
Another great question. Where will we be holding camp on Fridays? Right now, we've not made any determinations about that. We'll be, again, doing surveys, talking to parents, finding out what would work best if they needed at each campus. Two of our campuses, the Early Childhood Center and East Grand Preparatory, are within just a couple of blocks of each other. So I'm pretty sure that those two campuses will have their Friday camp at the East Grand location. At our Buckner campus right now, at this point, we've not yet made a determination if they'll have their own Friday camp or if it will also be at the East Grand location.
La pregunta es, ¿cuál es el lugar donde va a ser el campamento de los viernes y si va a ser ofrecido en varios lugares? No se ha determinado eso completamente. Sabemos que nuestro campus de East Grand y el centro escolar infantil están a 2 cuadras de distancia, así que creemos que esos 2 lugares serían combinados, pero no hemos hecho una determinación en cuanto a Buckner. Podría ser que se abra el campamento ahí o quizá de acuerdo a sus respuestas, si no hay tantos requerimientos, a lo mejor se podría combinar en un solo campus, pero necesitamos saber quién tendría que ir a eso.
Very true. I want to make a note on that as well. Depends on the numbers, right? How many signed up for Fridays. That way we can plan better the program outcomes as to how many students we can count on at EGP and how many for BP. Familias, eso también va a depender de los números que se enlistan para asistir los viernes y eso va a poder ayudarnos a determinar si tendremos el campamento en solamente un local o en 2 locales o más.
Would there be a limit for the number of students who can attend Friday camp?
It's another great question. At this time, we are not putting any limits on how many children. And the reason for that is that we want to meet the needs of our parents and what your needs are. And so therefore, it is going to be critical that you enroll your child into our Friday camp so that we can prepare, make sure we have enough staff, we have enough food prepared, etc. But it's really going to depend on how many of our parents need that Friday camp.
La pregunta fue si habría un límite en el número de estudiantes que pueden asistir al campamento de viernes. La respuesta es no. Queremos asegurarnos que todos ustedes que necesiten ese servicio lo puedan obtener. Pero es por eso es muy importante que nos dejen saber si lo necesitan. Contesten la encuesta. La mejor manera de saber esto y preparar cuántos maestros necesitamos, cuánta comida se debe preparar, es saber de antemano cuántos ustedes estarían yendo.
Yeah, another critical thing in regard to that is if for something were to happen where right now you don't believe your child needs the all-day Friday camp.
Algo que hay que decir es, si en este momento ustedes creen que su hijo no necesitaría el campamento de viernes,
but in a few months or whatever, your circumstances change and maybe you get a job or you go to work someplace,
pero en unos meses sus circunstancias cambian y necesitan ir a trabajar o algo así,
you will be able to contact your campus and enroll your child in the Friday day school.
Queremos asegurarnos que podrían contactar en cualquier momento su campus y inscribir a sus hijos en ese campamento.
We want to be as flexible as your own personal experiences are, whether it be at home or with your job.
Queremos ser tan flexibles como sea necesario de acuerdo a su trabajo o a sus necesidades familiares. We have another question is, will the school year be extended?
The school year, we don't plan to extend it. We plan to keep it very similar to what you are used to right now. The main difference would be in the daily schedule. We would add an hour approximately. But the school year and the holidays that we, like the winter break that we have, the spring break, the week of Thanksgiving that we have a break as well, those we plan to keep as customary. La pregunta es si se va a cambiar el calendario escolar y no planeamos cambiar el calendario escolar. Estaremos tratando de que comience aproximadamente al mismo tiempo en agosto y que también termine igual. Y también ofrecer los días feriados en el invierno y en primavera y también durante la semana el Día de Acción de Gracias.
Another question, how many meals will be provided?
At this time, we are looking at we know that the children are going to be in school longer.
En este momento sabemos que los estudiantes van a tener que estar más tiempo en la escuela.
So we are going to offer every one of our children a snack in the afternoon.
Así que vamos a ofrecer a todos nuestros estudiantes un snack en la tarde.
If your children are a lot like my own grandchildren,
si sus hijos son como mis propios nietos,
seems like when you pick them up from school at the end of the day,
parece que en cuanto los recogen en la escuela al final del día,
they're starving as if they've had nothing to eat all day long.
Están muriéndose de hambre como si no hubieran comido nada en todo el día.
And so they try to talk me into taking them to Jack in the Box or to McDonald's.
Así que tratan de convencerme que los lleve a McDonald's o alguna comida rápida.
And so we want to make sure your child doesn't go home hungry.
Así que nos vamos a asegurar que su estudiante no va a casa hambriento.
So not only will we be offering a snack,
así que no solo vamos a ofrecer un snack,
we're working right now on trying to develop the funding and a program that will actually be able to send home a meal with your child at the end of each school day.
Estamos trabajando en desarrollar un programa que nos permita al final del día enviar una comida con su hijo como cena.
And there'll also be meals provided on Friday for breakfast and also for lunch with an additional snack in the afternoon.
Y lo mismo pasaría los viernes tendríamos desayuno, lunch y un snack en la tarde.
And we're also looking at the possibility of partnering with the North Texas Food Bank.
También estamos viendo la posibilidad de hacer un convenio con el Banco de Alimentos de North Texas.
So we'll be able to create backpacks of food
para poder enviar una mochila con comida
that you can take home on Fridays for your children over the weekend.
Que se puedan llevar a casa los viernes y tenerlo con sus hijos el fin de semana.
So our goal is to really think of everything your child might need or your family might need.
Realmente lo que queremos hacer es pensar en todas las cosas que sus estudiantes y sus familias puedan necesitar.
And your questions and your comments are very critical to us to be able to make sure we're sensitive to those things.
Y sus comentarios y preguntas son muy importantes para saber qué es lo que debemos hacer en este caso. We have another question. What activities would be offered at the camp?
So your feedback is so important. As I said earlier, we want to make sure to provide a continued learning opportunity pathway. The classes would be designed according to the feedback we received from you all and also what's available to us. And so last summer for Foresight, I mentioned earlier how we partnered with various organizations, from those who focus on theater arts to the STEM activities to also some field trips to museums. We want to make sure that that the activities are developmentally appropriate and they target the interests of your students. Padres, la pregunta se trató sobre qué actividades vamos a planear los viernes. Queremos que sean actividades interesantes que a ustedes con sus hijos les atraigan, que sean algo que necesitan. El verano pasado ofrecimos en el campamento de verano Foresight teatro, danza de ballet folclórico, también expediciones al museo, ¿verdad? de Perot, de ciencias. Y para nosotros es importante de que las actividades sean alineadas con el desarrollo académico y el desarrollo también de sus hijos en cuanto a las edades. Son cosas que vamos a tomar en consideración y ver qué se ofrece aquí regionalmente que puedan sus hijos aprovechar y ayudarles en su aprendizaje. Gracias.
We have a comment. The Friday camp should be at the campus where students attend because the other schools will be too far for some of us. Tenemos un comentario que dice el campamento los viernes debería ser en el campus donde van nuestros estudiantes porque las otras escuelas podrían estar muy lejos para algunos de nosotros. That's just a comment. We have another question. What happens to the salary of teachers? How do they feel about that?
Well, that's another great question. None of our employees are going to lose any income, or their salaries will be reduced.
Ninguno de nuestros maestros van a tener una reducción en el salario y hemos tenido también encuestas con ellos.
And so our teachers, our employees really will not be losing any money if we go to a 4-day school week.
Así que tanto nuestros maestros como empleados no estarían perdiendo dinero si cambiamos este modelo.
And for those that are interested, they'll actually be able to make additional income by working on Fridays.
Y para aquellos que estén interesados, podrían incluso hacer dinero extra si quieren trabajar en los viernes.
Yeah. One thing I'd like to say about our Friday camp, our Foresight Friday camp, is that we really want your kids to have so much fun. Not only, we want them to want to come. We want them to be waking you up on Friday morning to get you to camp.
Algo que queremos enfatizar acerca del campamento de los viernes es que queremos que sea eso un tiempo divertido para los niños y que ellos sean los que insistan en que los traigan a la escuela para el campamento de viernes.
Yeah. So when our instructional team talks about enrichment programs,
cuando nuestro equipo académico habla de programas de enriquecimiento,
I like to look at them as fun things that your children might have great interest in.
Es algo que vemos como algo divertido, algo en lo que sus estudiantes e hijos puedan interesarse.
That would capture their attention and also give them new skills and things that they can take home and enjoy.
Que les pueda llamar la atención, pero que también nos pueda ayudar a retener nuevas aprendizaje que disfruten en su casa.
And for students who are needing additional academic support, such as tutoring and whether it's in math or reading or what have you, we also want to meet their needs through academic interventions and tutoring. Y también para los estudiantes que necesitan más ayuda académica, ya sea en su lectura o en matemáticas, queremos también proveerles tutorías y ofrecerles apoyo para que sigan creciendo en esas áreas también.
Yeah, another question. Is there a study that indicates that students will do good and even better with longer instructional days?
Well, right now, this whole movement of going to 4-day school weeks, in Texas right now, there's anywhere from 40 to 50 school districts, charters or independent school districts, that have already moved to this 4-day school week.
Esto es un movimiento relativamente nuevo, aunque en Texas hay de 40 a 50 charters y distritos escolares que están teniendo este programa.
And so right now, the research is relatively new on how a 4-day school week might affect a student.
Así que en este momento las investigaciones o los estudios son relativamente nuevos en qué tanto beneficio trae esto a los 4 días en escuela.
But with that being said, right now, with those that we know that are doing this, many of them are seeing an increase in student outcomes.
Pero a pesar de ello, lo que sí sabemos es que algunos de los distritos y charters que están siguiendo este programa, ellos han visto mejoras en los resultados académicos.
And so not only students are doing better, but the employees' morale is going up.
Así que no solo los estudiantes están teniendo un mejor desempeño, pero también los empleados tienen una mejor actitud.
And you can imagine if your teacher is happy
Y pueden imaginarse que si el maestro está feliz
and their morale is high,
y la actitud está alta,
they're going to do a better job with your child in the classroom.
van a hacer un mucho mejor trabajo con su hijo en el salón.
And remember, we're not cutting back on any instructional minutes. We're actually going to be doing more than what the minimum that the state of Texas requires.
Y recuerden, no vamos a estar reduciendo el número de minutos, sino que vamos a hacer incluso más de lo que el estado de Texas requiere.
That's correct. We don't want by any means for instruction to be lost, and that's one of the areas of our top considerations. And how will our students do? And from what we have been able to glean from other districts who have been trying this, students are, if anything, allowed more time on task during the school week, as that they have an extended opportunity to learn, whether it's in reading or math, in an extended day. And then in addition, to come on Fridays if they need some additional tutoring, or if they just want to come and participate in other activities that are more on the enrichment side of learning. Padres, nosotros no queremos de ninguna manera que ningún estudiante se quede atrás. Y lo que hemos visto en estudios que son recientes, de distritos que lo están ofreciendo ya, este nuevo sistema, los estudiantes están avanzando y tienen más tiempo de aprender con un día prolongado. Pueden pasar más tiempo en sus clases aprendiendo y recibiendo la ayuda que necesitan. Y si hay necesidad de más tutorías, eso también se puede ofrecer los viernes.
We have another question. What would the school hours be? Would arrival and dismissal times change?
Yes, at this point, we've not yet determined what the arrival or dismissal times will be.
Sí, sí cambiarían las horas escolares, pero en este momento no hemos determinado exactamente cuál sería la hora de entrada y de salida.
But we do believe that we're going to have to increase at least the instructional time at least 1 hour a day.
Pero creemos que con este modelo tendríamos que incrementar el tiempo de instrucción al menos 1 hora.
And so what we're going to be trying to do is to balance the arrival time when school starts and also when the school dismisses.
Y queremos asegurarnos que balanceamos el tiempo en la que empieza la escuela y el tiempo en el que salen los niños.
So it has less impact on you getting to work or picking your child up in the afternoon.
Para asegurarnos que tiene el menor impacto posible en ustedes, que tienen que ir al trabajo en la mañana o que tengan alguna complicación en la tarde a la hora de salir.
Not only are we going to provide our Friday school, but we're also going to be providing the after school for any of our families that need after school care for your children.
Y Y no solo vamos a tener disponible el campamento los viernes, sino también, como se ha hecho antes, va a seguir disponible el programa de después de la escuela.
One more thing that a couple of things I'd like to finish with here. If there's no more questions, we'll wait a little bit longer to see if you got anything else you want to ask or any comments you'd like to make. But we want to let you know that after we're through today, remember you'll be getting an email and a text asking you to fill out a survey. We will put back up the QR code in just a moment so you can make sure you get that done. Also, we have a new FAQ that is for our parents that answers a lot of these questions and maybe some questions that weren't asked today. And we've created that not because we believe that this is where we're headed and this is a decision we've made to go forward, but we're wanting to put it out there so you can read it, take your time, reflect on it, and then get back with us with any comments or questions that you may have.
Queremos recordarles que vamos a enviar de nuevo la encuesta, es súper importante sus comentarios, pero también en cuanto termine esta sesión, estamos generando una página de preguntas más frecuentes, donde estarán estas preguntas que han hecho ustedes con sus respuestas y algunas otras que se nos han hecho en otros momentos o que quizá no han hecho y que queremos compartir. Recuerden que esto no significa que es una decisión tomada, sino queremos que ustedes lo lean con calma, que vean todas las cosas que estamos considerando para saber qué es lo que estamos viendo antes de tomar la decisión.
And so what you'll be getting with the email is not only a link to the survey and the QR code, you'll be getting the FAQ or the parent questions and things so that you can see, so we can answer some of those.
Recuerden que van a recibir el código para esto y esa página de preguntas acerca de este programa está disponible ya en nuestra página web en el homepage. Remember that we want to let you know that FAQ, regardless if you get the link on all that, you can go to our website and it's on the homepage of our website.
Yeah, one other thing, we want to display right now, if you would please, all the upcoming places that will be coming to talk to you. If your child attends the East Grand campus or the Early Childhood Center, you're definitely welcome to come over to our Buckner campus next week. We'll be there 2 different times next week. And we'll also be doing another one of these type of remote type conversations with our parents also coming up here soon also.
Queremos recordarles y vamos a presentar en pantalla en este momento de nuevo. Vamos a tener presentaciones o oportunidades de hablar con ustedes en persona en los campus. Están las fechas ahí y recuerden que vamos a estar 2 veces la próxima semana en Buckner y también vamos a seguir teniendo estas sesiones virtuales para que ustedes puedan seguir mandando sus comentarios.
I just want to say, parents, as Mr. Brannon specified earlier, these conversations with you are crucial. You providing the feedback, sending questions, all of that's going to help guide the next steps. And so be sure to fill out the survey. That's going to help us as we continue planning. Familias, por favor, recuerden, estas conversaciones son muy importantes. Sigan mandando sus preguntas. Terminen la encuesta si no la han mandado todavía, para que nosotros podamos estudiar un poco cómo ustedes se sienten y sus ideas, y también nos gustaría verles en persona en las próximas reuniones.
So if there's no more questions, we'd like to, again, thank you for joining us this afternoon. If you would like, please come see us at Buckner Preparatory next week. We'll all be there. Love to see you. And if you've got any other questions or further comments or concerns, we'd love to hear it directly from you. So thank you for your time.
Muchas gracias por su tiempo. Les agradecemos por esto y recuerden que vamos a estar en Buckner Preparatory la próxima semana. Nos gustaría verlos ahí.